The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Do you know what will happen to 100 individuals who start even at the age of 25 and who believe they will be successful by the age 65? Only 5 out of 100 will make the grade. Why do so many fail? What happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25? What became of their dreams, their hopes, their plans? Why is there such a large disparity between what these people intend to do and what they actually accomplished? That is the strangest secret. Some years ago, the late Nobel Prize winning Dr. Albert Schweitzer asked by a reporter, "Doctor, what is wrong with men today?" The great doctor was silent a moment and then he said simply, Men simply don't think. I want to talk to you about it. We live today in a golden age. This is an era that humanity has looked forward to, dreamed of, worked toward thousands of years. We live in the richest era that ever existed on the face of the earth, on the land of abundant opportunity for everyone. However, if you take 100 individuals who start even at the age of 25, do you have any idea what will happen to those men and women by the time those are 65? Of the 100 people believe they are going to be successful, they are eager towards their life. There is a certain sparkle in their eyes, there is erectness to the carriage. Life seems like a pretty interesting adventure to them. By the time they are 65, only one will be rich, four will be financially independent, and five will be working, and 55 will be broke, depending on other people's life necessities. So, why do so many fail? What has happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25? What has become the dreams, the hopes, and the plans? Why is there such a large disparity between what these people intend to do and what they actually accomplish? First, we have to define success. And here is the best definition. I've been told to find that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is the school teacher who is teaching because that is what he or she wants to do. A success is an entrepreneur who starts his own company because that was his dream. That is what he wanted to do. Success is the salesperson who wants to become the best salesperson in his or her company, and that sets forth on the pursuit of the goal. Success is anyone who is realizing a worthy, predetermined ideal because that is what he or she wanted to do deliberately. But only 1 out of 20 does that. The rest are failures. Many distinguished psychiatrists wrote a wonderful book, Man Search for Himself. In this book, he says the opposite of the courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity. There you have the reason for so many failures: conformity, people acting like everybody else without knowing why they are going. So we learn to read by the time we are 7. We learn to make a living by the time we are 30. Often by the time we are not only making a living, we are supporting a family, and yet by the time we are 65, we have not learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that's ever been known. Why we conform? Most of us are acting like the wrong percentage group. The 95% who don't succeed, have you ever wondered why so many people work so hard and honestly without ever achieving anything in particular, while others don't seem to work hard, yet seem to get everything they seem to have? There's a magic touch. You've heard people say everything. Whatever he touches turns to gold. Have you ever noticed that a person who becomes successful tends to continue to become more successful? On the other hand, have you noticed how someone who is a failure tends to continue to fail? The difference is goals. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. It is that simple. Failures, on the other hand, believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. Think of a ship with a complete voyage mapped out and planned. The captain and the crew knew exactly where the ship is going and how long it will take. It has a definite goal. 9.99 times out of 10, it'll get there. Now let's take another ship just like the first one only. Let's not put a crew on it, or a captain, or at the arm. Let's give it no aiming point, no goal, no destination. We just start the engine and let it go. I think you will agree that if it gets out of the harbor at all, it'll either sink or wind up on some deserted beach. It cannot go any place because it has no destination and no guidance. It's the same with the human being. However, the human race is fixed, not to prevent the strong from winning, but to prevent the weak from losing. Society today can be likened to a convoy in time of war. The entire society is slowed down to protect its weakest link, just as the naval convoy has to go to that top speed that will permit its slowest vessel to remain in formation. That is why it's so easy to make a living today. It takes no particular brains or talent to make a living and support a family. Today we have so-called plateau. There's a security to succeed. All we must do is decide how high above the plateau we want to aim throughout the history. So the great wise men and the teachers, philosophers, and prophets have disagreed with one another on many different things. It is only on this one point that they are in complete agreement. The key to success and the key to failure is we become what we think about. That is the strangest secret. Why do I say now it's strange? Why do you call it a secret? Actually, it's not a secret at all. It was first promulgated by some of the earliest wise men and it appears again and again throughout the Bible. But very few people have learned it or understand it. That is why it's the strangest secret. Why, for some equally strange reason, it virtually remains a secret. Marcus, the great Roman emperor, said, man's life is what his thoughts make of it. The Israeli said, this everything comes if a man will only wait, a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it. And nothing can resist a will that will stake even existence for its fulfillment. William James said we need only in cold blood act as if this one thing were real. It will become infallibly real by growing into a such connection with our life will become real. It'll become so neat that with habit and emotion that our interests will those characterize. So which characterize belief he continues only you must really wish these things. Wish them exclusively and not wish at the same time 100 other incompatible things. So just as strongly as my old friend or Norman Vincent Pale. This is why if you think in negative terms, you'll get negative results. If you think in positive terms, you'll get two positive results. George Bernard Shaw said people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them well. It's pretty apparent, isn't it? We become what we think about. A person who is thinking about a concrete and a worthwhile goal is going to reach it because that is what he is thinking about. Conversely, the person who has no goal, who does not know where he is going, and those who thoughts must therefore be the thoughts of confusion, anxiety, fear, and worry, will thereby create a life of frustration, fear, anxiety, and worry. If he thinks about nothing, he becomes nothing. The human mind is much like a farmer's land. The land gives the farmer a choice. He may plant in that land whatever he chooses. The land doesn't care what is planted. It is up to the farmer to make the decision. It's like the mind, like the land. It'll return what you plant. It doesn't care what you plant. If the farmer plants two seeds, one a seed of corn and the other nightshade, a deadly poison, and it waters and takes care of the land, what will happen? Remember, the land doesn't care. It'll return poison in just as wonderful abundance as it will corn. So come up the two plants, one corn, one poison, as it is written in the Bible. As you sow, so you shall reap. The human mind is far more fertile, far more incredible and mysterious than the land. It works the same way. It doesn't care what we plan, success or failure, a concrete, worthwhile goal or confusion, misunderstanding, fear, anxiety, and so on. But what we plan must return. The problem is that in your mind, it comes with the standard equipment at birth. It's free. Things that are given to us for nothing, we place little value on things that we pay money for. We value the paradox. Paradox is that exactly the reverse is true. Everything that's really worthwhile in life came to us free. Our minds, our souls, our bodies, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, our intelligence, our love, family and children, and friends and country, all the priceless possessions are free. But the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can be replaced at any time. A good man can be completely wiped out and make another's fortune. He can do that several times. Even if our home burns down, we can rebuild it. But the things we got for nothing, we can never replace. Our mind can do any kind of job we assign it to it. But generally speaking, we use it for little jobs instead of big ones. So decide now what is that you want. Plan your goal in your mind. It is the most important decision you will ever make in your entire life. Do you want to excel at your particular job? Do you want to go places in your company, in your community? Do you want to get rich? All you have got to do is plant that seed in your mind. Take care of it, work steadily towards your goal, and it'll become a reality. It's not only there's no way that it cannot. So it's the law of like Sir Isaac Newton, law of gravity, building and probably if you jump on a building and jump off, you are going to go down. So without the laws of nature, they'll work. So they're inflexible. Think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way. Picture yourself in your mind's eye as having already achieved this goal. See yourself doing the things you will be doing when you have reached your goal. Every one of us is the sum total of our own thoughts. We are where we are because That's exactly what we are. We want to be, that's what we deserve. So we must live off the fruit of our thoughts in the future, because what you think today and tomorrow, next month and next year will mold your life and determine your future. You're guided by your mind. I remember one time I was driving through eastern Arizona, and I was one of the giant earth moving machines roaring along the road with what looked like 30 tons of dirt. Is a tremendous, incredible machine. There was a little man perched way up on top with the wheel and his hands guiding it. As I drove along, I was struck by the similarity of what that machine to the human mind. Just suppose you are sitting at the controls of such a vast source of energy. Are you going to sit back and fold your arms and let it run itself into a ditch? Are you going to keep both hands firmly on the wheel and control and direct this power to a specific worthwhile purpose? It's up to you. You are in the driver's seat. You see the very law that gives us success. Success is a double edged sword. We must control our thinking. The same rule that can lead people's life to success, wealth, happiness, all the things they ever dreamed of. The very same law can lead them to gutter. It's all in how they use it for good or bad. That is the strangest secret. Do what the experts since the dawn of recorded history have told us to do. Pay the price by becoming the person you want to do. You become, it's not nearly as difficult as living unsuccessfully. The moment you decide on a goal to work towards, you are immediately a successful person. You are then in that rare group of people who know where they are going. Out of every 100 people you belong to, top 5, don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to achieve your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going. The answers will come to you out of their own accord and at the right time. So start today. You have nothing to lose, but you have your whole life to win. For the next 30 days, follow each of these steps every day until you have achieved your goal. Go and write on a card what it is that you want more than anything else. It'll be more money, perhaps you would like to double your income or make a specific amount of money. It may be beautiful home, it may be a success at your job, it may be a particular position in life. It could be a more harmonious family. Write down on your card specifically what is that you want. Make sure it's a single goal and clearly defined. You don't need to show it to anyone, but carry it with you so that you can look at it several times a day. Think about it in a cheerful, relaxed, positive way. Each morning when you get up, look at it. Take every chance you get it during the day, just before going to bed at night. As you look at it, remember that you must become what you think about. And since you are thinking about your goal, you realize that soon it'll be yours. In fact, it's really yours the moment you write it down and begin to think about it. Number 2, stop thinking about what it is that you fear. Each time a fearful, negative thought comes into your mind, replace it with a mental picture of your positive and worthwhile goal. And there'll come a time when you'll feel like giving up. It's easier for a human being to think negatively than positively. That's why only 5% are successful. You must begin now to place yourself in that group. Act as though it were impossible to fail. As Dorothy Brand said, no matter what your goal, if you have kept your goal before you every day, you'll wonder and marvel at this new life. You found number 3. Your success will always be measured by the quality and quantity of the service you render. Most people will tell you that they want to make money without understanding this law. The only people who make money work in a mint. The rest of us must earn money. That is what causes those who keep looking for something or nothing. So, free right to fail in life success is not the result of making money. Earning money is the result of success, and the success is in direct proportion to our service. Most people have this law backwards. It's like the man who stands in front of the stove and says to it, "Give me the heat and then I'll add the wood." How many men and women do you know or do you suppose there are today who take the same attitude towards life? There are millions. We have got to put in the fuel before we can expect the heat. Likewise, we got to be service first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money, be of service. Build, work, dream, create, do this. You'll find there is limit to the prosperity. There's no limit to the prosperity. There's abundance. You'll come to it. So until you have made up your mind to stick with it, if you should fail during the first 30 days, by that I mean suddenly find yourself overwhelmed by negative thoughts, simply start over again. Go for another 30 more days gradually. Your new habit will form until you find yourself one of the wonderful minority to whom virtually nothing is impossible. Above all, don't worry because it brings in fear. Fear is crippling. The only thing that can stop you are It's trying to do it all yourself. Know that you have to do is hold your goal before you. Everything else will take care of itself. Take this 30-day test, then repeat it again. Each time it'll become more part of you until you wonder how you could have ever lived. The other way is live this new way, and the floodgates of abundance will open. Will pour over you more riches than you have dreamed of or existed. Money, yes, let's lots of it. What's more important is you'll have peace. You'll be in that wonderful minority who lead calm, cheerful, successful lives. Start today and you have nothing to lose, but you have a life to win.